My next guest is one half of the Fury FC 86 main event, and on February 23rd, he faces off against Aaron Phillips. He is Julius the Boom Holmes. How's it going today, Julius?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
Can't complain. It's a great day so far. So, just under 2 weeks away from now, you return to the Fury FC cage, riding a 9-fight win streak against an Ultimate Fighter alumni in Aaron Phillips. How's camp been over at Fortis MMA?
Honestly, man, this camp has been really well. Everything's kind of just flowed as it should. You can expect to have a few bumps in camp and things of that nature, but this camp's been really smooth for me. So it's odd how the ease of it, but I mean, gift horse, right? Don't look it in the mouth.
Nice. And then, over at Fortis MMA, there's a lot of people in camp right now, too. It's not just you this time around.
Yeah.
With somebody in their own respective camps currently, who's been your main training partners for this particular fight?
Well, so the way that it works at Fortis is, I know this is going to sound strange, but we're actually a team. So, I just getting ready to fight Ian Gary the week before I fight Aaron Phillips. And so he has the main rounds. He does the majority of the rounds. And then what coach will do is he'll squeeze me in the rounds. And then at the end of his rounds, I'll go in. So then it just flows after my rounds flow naturally after his. And we use the same training partners. Ramiz Brahimi, who's also in the UFC, Kyle Crutchmer, Jacoby, who's on the same card as me, honestly. So it's we have Zumar Archer. We have a bunch of training partners that are around our size. And so we just kind of just flow all with each other. So whoever Jeff trains with, I train with. Who I train with, Kyle trains with. We legitimately do everything as a unit. So it's beautiful.
It really lives up to Saif's general nickname at that point. It is really
absolutely,
structured.
Yeah. That just wasn't a nickname because it sounded cool. It's very, very much fitting. We put a large emphasis on staying connected as a unit because that's the only way things don't fall apart. Honestly.
Definitely. And the whole, the cliche, iron sharpens iron, it makes sense. And you mix that with an actual structured platform as well.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of makes sense why you all are as successful as you guys are.
Exactly.
Touching back on your opponent himself, Aaron is 8-4, a tough alumnus.
Mm-hmm.
He did face Andre Petrowski. Didn't really go his way that way. So
yeah.
He was on the show, but didn't really have much of a chance, sadly. Was there anything in particular that grabbed your interest when his name came across?
God, I don't want to sound like a dick. Not at all. He was 8-4, which is a good record. It helps move me forward. He said yes. Yeah, no, that's about it, man. I don't weigh too much on who I fight at this level. I leave that up to Saif because it's, in my opinion of it, it's if you can't win at this level, if you can't beat anyone at this level, then what the hell makes you think you're going to win in the UFC? And if I lose at this level, there's really no point because you're not a champion. You're not championship material at that point to lose this close to being in the UFC but not being in it. So I don't really care too much who I fight because I should win. If I am who I believe myself to be, then I'll win.
Nice. And you kind of laid it into my next question perfectly. Championship material. You're 4-0 under the Fury banner, 9-2 overall, and 7 of those wins have come by finish. This feels like it could have been a title fight, but it's not. The vacant title is still just vacant.
Yeah.
Do you know why the title wasn't offered for this one?
Well, so the problem is that it was offered, but I guess if my career goes as it should, people will learn a lot of weird things about me. I have these strange moral beliefs that I hold very well. To me, I don't want the title if I'm not going to defend the title. To me, you're not a champion if you don't defend said championship. If you take over a land and then you die the next battle, were you really a king or did you just kind of hold the throne for a little bit? So the fact that I very much plan on being on the Contender Series after this fight, it's kind of pointless for the Fury fans, for them to see me as a champion, for me just to leave without defending it. It was what was the point of all that? My own accolades? yeah, my ego's not that big that I need more accolades. I'm fine.
And it's kind of funny because I think before we hit record, I referenced the card that I actually found out about you on was a card where both champions won on that card, never defended it. One went to the UFC, when one went to the Contender Series, the training partner review. He fights March 2nd, so he's also in camp, or at least starting. I guess probably the start of the actual real camp though. So, but I get the point of like, why just get it to vacate it again?
Yeah.
If that's obviously where it's going to probably most glow. So gazing into a crystal ball though, like how do you see this fight going for you?
So that's a tough one for me because I really don't prognosticate on things that I have no control over. So I can't, I'm not a liar, so I'm not going to give you an answer because this is what I believe is going to happen. The way that I see this going is I'm going to step in there. I'm going to feel how strong he is. I'm going to feel how fast he is. And then I'm going to hit him in his face until he quits or he falls to the ground. And then I'm going to hit him more until he gives me a submission or he quits. So for me, the fight will go as tough as he is. That's kind of the way I look upon it. Sorry.
And then, like I said before, you're 9-2 with 7 finishes. You're knocking obviously on the door of the big leagues. Under a Fight Pass promotion, you're kind of limited to the UFC, which again, it's like the NFL and all the other football leagues. Like you want to be in the NFL. I'm sure you'll probably take the lower pay, but it's better than regional if offered. But like, where do you see it? Obviously a win here. Do you think this is like a Contender Series call with a win here? Maybe even like a short notice UFC itself. I know you literally just said you don't predict things, so like kind of weird to ask that. But like, if you could write the script, so we're not predicting, you're writing the script. Where does this take you next?
I do believe it's the Contender Series next. Obviously, I have to win. I have to. Well, more so than just win, I have to have a good showing, which is fine by me because that's all I try to do anyway. I don't ever go in there to just win. For the most part, I always want to finish because I really don't like fighting that long. 15, 25 minutes of fighting is not really fun for me. So I try to end it every time anyway. But yeah, I believe the Contender Series is next. That's kind of what I see from this. That's the feeling that I get.
From the fan side, we just see you fight that 15, 25 minutes. We don't see the month of training, weeks of training leading into a fight.
Yeah.
God forbid something pops up in camp that even delays it even longer. I don't want to use the I word, but you know what I'm talking about. What sacrifices have you made in your career to get to the point where you are now?
Everything. I've sacrificed everything for the sport. I've lost numerous relationships over the sport. I've built numerous relationships over it. I've sacrificed time with my son. I've sacrificed time getting to build skills or hobbies that I enjoy. I sacrificed my body, obviously. I'm 30 years old, but I have the body of a 58-year-old. Like I sacrificed my vision. I sacrificed, that's very self-indulgent. Anyone who does the sport and takes it serious, you don't do it seriously. You don't do it well without sacrificing almost everything. It's like that of I compare it to that of like a CEO. Like you don't become the CEO of a very successful business without sacrificing pretty much all the simpler pleasures in life.
Yeah, I fully get that. I went to school with a guy who played in the NBA, and all everyone saw when he got signed was, "You're good at basketball." I remember seeing him like miss out on parties, waking up at 5 a.m. to go practice shooting.
Yeah,
his life was dedicated to the sport, and that's why he made it to the NBA.
Absolutely.
And and once you get there, you don't control your destiny.
No, not
People
at all.
control the contracts there, and he did well for the time he was there. But I understood everything that went into it. So like you mentioning, like you can itemize the sacrifices, but it is really everything.
Yeah,
because if you want to be successful, like you're not going to just come in
that's
on
what's required.
Tuesdays.
And it's funny because people don't seem to understand that. Like they think that that's just a success at a large scale thing, but it's like any change or anything that you want to achieve, like the work has to be done before the result comes. Like you don't get to make a change and then have the world adapt to that change because you decided it. It's like you still have to keep working and making that change every day. And then the world flows to that change. So it's like all this work has to be put in before you even achieve a modicum of the success that you're working for. It's just the way everything flows.
Definitely, and I fully agree there. I'm going to step away from the fights a little bit now. I know it's probably hard because I know you're dedicated and all. But when you're not training or fighting, what are you passionate about? Like, what else besides fighting is Julius Holmes the person?
As corny as it sounds, life. Honestly, life is what I'm passionate about. I like to read, but I don't read enough to call myself a reader. I like writing, but I would say the poetries and sonnets that I write aren't nearly to the level to actually get published in any sort of manner. I like rock climbing. I like hiking. I like drawing, even though I'm garbage at drawing. I love singing. I definitely love singing. But as you can hear, my voice is not that of a sultry seductor of the musical arts. So I like life in general, but fighting is just the only thing that my talent also matches my passion for. So I chose fighting. That's what we do now.
Nice. Yeah, like, on the drawing side too. I like to think I can draw. I went to art school.
It might be a little different since you went to school for it.
I can't draw a stick figure.
What? What'd you go to school for?
I was in the digital side. Like I wasn't like sitting there
okay,
drawing, but like, and even
Gotcha.
then, I still don't do much design. Like, I ended up going into coding, but by the time you did school, like
Yeah.
it was like I was graduating in like a half a year, and I was like too late to change. And so yeah, that so I understand that the love of something, but knowing that you're not anywhere near the best of something.
For
And,
sure, yeah.
maybe like you can hang it in your own fridge and appreciate your own work.
Be so proud. It'd be the most displayed thing ever.
But what leading into the fight itself, February 23rd, it's only at the time of recording like 19 days away.
Yeah.
What message do you have for your fans, the ones who are going to catch you because it's on Fight Pass?
Mhm.
What message do you have for everyone that's going to be watching?
Thank you. If anybody who's heard my post fight in ring diatribes, speeches, interviews, whatever they call them, the one where the commentator talked to you immediately after the fight, I feel like I've kind of beaten the horse dead, revived it, and beat it again with how much I appreciate the people that support me. And I mean it genuinely. It's without them, there isn't this. Like I'm not in this interview. I'm not on this fight card. I'm not doing anything close to what I have, and I haven't done much in the sport. But I am proud of where the people that support me, that watch me, buy tickets, tune in, send well wishes, just hope for the best. Like they're all a part of this. Like it's a community thing. So yeah, I appreciate it. Any success that I have is due directly and indirectly to the people that support me. If I didn't have any support, then I seriously doubt anyone would keep doing something without the backing of anyone else.
It definitely hits a little bit on my end. I started this thing as a whim, and we just passed 1,000 subscribers, and it's like, oh, people actually care.
Yeah, it gives you a burst of energy when you feel supported.
Definitely. And so after that, I'm gonna throw one more jab at regional pay and the fact that I know you don't get paid you don't really get paid a lot for the effort you put into the cage itself.
Yeah.
So on the outside, you typically have sponsors and support that kind of makes it a little easier to get there and do your dream. I'm going to pass the mic to you to kind of give the shout out to any sponsors, teammates, trainers, family members, whoever you want to shout out. The mic's all yours to kind of like speak your mind to your supporters now.
Yeah. So honestly, again, that weird moral baseline. I don't really do too much of like sponsorships for finances. It's more like, hey, I want to market you and support you, but I just want this service instead. So, like, in speaking in that sense, like a major shout out to Roger at HBot Dallas. They're a hyperbaric chamber business, and they work out of Dallas. So that doing the hyperbaric therapy sessions have really, really helped just keep camp going smoothly. My buddy Sadawad out in Wiley with Aces and Oasis. It's a smoke shop, and like he he helps me in little ways, so I tremendously appreciate him. Nicole Schneider, who's a chiropractor in Hazlitt, and Dr. Michelle Krennick, who's another chiropractor in Colleyville. Those guys have been a big help. And those are the only business sponsors, and the rest are just like all my teammates at Fortis, who are the biggest sponsors and helping me train. My teammates at Clout9, my best friends Vu, David Quintana, who's my strength and conditioning coach, Samantha Joe, who's my nutritionist, my parents, my friends, my family, the ones who kind of market my fights for me. Honestly, I just kind of tell them that I have a fight, and then they buy tickets, and then they tell all the people close to them, like, hey, my nephew, my cousin, my son, all that, he has a fight, you guys should come. And then I have a bunch of people that come to my fights, and it's not because I'm a great marketer. It's that I just have great relationships with people, and we all truly support each other. Like if I have a friend that has a business, I go to his business. If I have a friend that has a restaurant, I go to his restaurant. And in return, it's like when people hear I have a fight, they come to my fight. So it's all very much intertwined together. So I appreciate them.
Perfect. And that's, great part. And you kind of like the fact that you were like, they don't help financially, but health is wealth. Like the first batch of sponsors you named, like that's invaluable, especially in the field that you're in, because I mean, I heard getting out of bed and I don't fight.
Yeah. This morning was rough for me as well.
So you having, those recovery efforts in place too, like that's better than any dollars they can give you. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Dollars pay bills, but like, you don't get to where you need to get without the health part of it either. So, but
like finances is something that kind of just come. Like I have no care for the financial side of things. I care more about like the relationship side of things. Like I said, I like life. So if your hobby is life, you kind of enjoy little things like building relationships and such. So it's like money will come with success. I'm not too worried about trying to grab money right now. If I need to be rich, I'll be rich.
Pull the Drake quote. I hate pulling a Drake quote, but God's plan. Whatever's meant to be will happen.
Yeah.
So, and but what will happen is February 23rd, you are facing off against Aaron Phillips as the main event of Fury FC 86. I want to wish you the best of skill. I look forward to seeing the fight. It's a great name on the other side as well. He has that tough alumnus already, which gives that a little extra value with the win here. But UFC Fight Pass, if you're in Dallas, I think this was in Dallas.
Yes, it's in Dallas.
Grab a ticket, go watch your regional MMA. These are where everyone gets that name value before they hit the big stage. And it's a shitload cheaper to go catch a regional card than it is like a UFC card. So support your regional fighter. Again, February 23rd, UFC Fight Pass. Julius Holmes versus Aaron Phillips. Best of skill.